Lord Morris of Manchester.
Lords, I beg leave to ask the question standing in my name on the order paper and declare an interest, not pecuniary, as President of the Haemophilia Society.
My Lords, we have decided not to seek leave to appeal the judgment, and we will be writing shortly to let the Court know of our decision. We are considering our response to the judgment and will announce our decision in due course. In the meantime, ex-gratia payments will continue to be paid at current levels to those affected.
My Lords, I'm grateful to the noble Lord and congratulate him on his well-merited ministerial post, which I know he'll grace with all his customary integrity. Meanwhile, is he aware that 1,982 haemophilia patients have now died from being infected with HIV and hepatitis C by contaminated NHS blood products in this worst ever treatment disaster? Given the High Court's landmark judgment, the wide all-party acclaim for the Archer Inquiry's findings, and David Cameron's strongly positive response to the Haemophilia Society's pre-election call for urgent new help for the afflicted and bereaved, can the Minister confirm that there will be no delay now in ensuring a just settlement for this cruelly stricken and arguably most needful minority in Britain today?
My Lords, may I begin by thanking the noble Lord for his kind words. I'm sure he knows how seriously I take these matters, and I hope he can take as read my wish to see those whose health is suffering as a result of this tragedy properly looked after by the NHS. Having said that, my Lords, I know the noble Lord will understand that we are looking at the court judgment. It is early days yet. We're considering very carefully what the court has said, and I can't be of more help to him at this stage than I already have been in my earlier answer. But I stand ready to talk to him either inside or outside this chamber on these important matters.
While endorsing my noble friend's congratulations to the noble Earl, can he at least at this stage tell us whether the government now accepts that the scale of payments to victims in Ireland was not a response to criticisms from an official inquiry, since the scales have been decided and implemented long before either official inquiry reported? And can he say further whether it's now accepted that to argue that there has been no similar criticism from an official inquiry in this country is, to say the least, disingenuous, since successive governments have failed to appoint one?
My Lords, obviously I cannot speak for statements made by ministers of the former administration, but I can confirm to the noble and learned Lord that the compensation scheme in the Republic of Ireland was set up in the light of evidence of mistakes made by the Irish Blood Transfusion Service Board. This has been confirmed to us by officials in the Republic of Ireland's Department of Health and Children. And I think it's important to understand that the events that gave rise to people in Ireland becoming infected through contaminated blood transfusions were quite dissimilar to the sequence of events that occurred here. There were very specific circumstances in Ireland and quite different circumstances in the UK.
I declare an interest as the widow of a haemophiliac who died from contaminated blood products 16 years ago. Is the Minister aware that many of the widows and widowers and the children of people who were infected and died receive very little compensation? In fact, many do not receive a penny in support from the state. Would he not agree that it would have been wiser to spend the Department of Health money used to fight the High Court case on supporting those bereaved families, many who have lost their breadwinner?
My Lords, I'm well aware of the noble Baroness's personal interest in this matter, and I feel very deeply for her. She is, of course, correct that the Skipton Fund was not designed to support bereaved relatives, or it was designed to alleviate the suffering of those infected with hepatitis C. Sympathetic as I am towards those who have lost their loved ones in this tragedy, that fund does have a specific purpose, and it would require a major review to alter that purpose. But I note her concern on this matter.
My Lords, may I share in the congratulations and good wishes to the noble Earl, who has served this House so well on health issues, and also indeed my own congratulations to the noble Lords, Lord Morris of Manchester and Lord Archer of Sandwell, for their tenacious pursuit of this particular issue. But would the noble Earl agree that not only does the High Court judgment show a confusion of thinking on the part of the Department of Health in regard to this particular matter, but in the whole question of dealing with adverse health events? And would he accept, as the Scottish Executive has done, and as the Chief Medical Officer did in 2003, and the National Audit Office report in 2004, that much more money would be available in compensation if it were not being spent on legal fees and court cases, and an introduction of a new full compensation scheme would potentially achieve this?
My Lords, I share the noble Lord's antipathy to taxpayers' money being shelled out in legal fees. But what has happened, and I think in the current constrained financial climate, every department of government will look very carefully indeed at its legal activity.
My Lords, can I join my noble friend in welcoming the noble Earl to his new position, and I wish him all the very best. Not so long ago, my Lords, Lord Thomas of Gresford and the noble Lady Baroness Barker, during the passage of my noble friend's bill last November, were very keen on a full compensation package for those affected by contaminated blood products. Has this commitment been translated into the coalition government's policy, and if so, how and in what timescale?
My Lords, again I thank the noble Baroness for her kind remarks. I would just say to her, we're in a coalition government. Not every pledge in either the Conservative or the Liberal Democrat manifestos can be honoured. That is the nature of coalitions. In fact, the specific Liberal Democrat proposal that she has referred to was not included in the programme for government which we published.